Hi guys, welcome to The Real Deal. Real people, real issues, real talk. I'm Penny, a medicine woman and vitalist herbalist, specializing in ancient remedies for modern illness. If you'd like to learn more, feel free to reach out to me. I'm always here to help. And what are ancient remedies, you ask? They are the remedies that were used to cure diseases from anything from headache to cancer for thousands and thousands of years, up until the medical industrial system was bred in the early 1900s or late 1800s, early 1900s. And they pretty much abolished herbalism at that point, and it became illegal for a long time, up until only like 40 years ago. And as you can see, there's been a big trend of people doing herbalism for the last few years, and with COVID, a lot of people are more interested in natural remedies, and they're opening their eyes to what exactly the medical system is doing to people. And I don't know if you've noticed, but yesterday I had to put a medical disclaimer on all my social media pages because herbalists have been under attack for over 100 years now, and it's a problem, guys. We're trying to get the word out there, but our hands are tied. So anything, obviously, that I'm saying has not been reviewed by the FDA or approved of by the FDA. And honestly, I don't really give a shit about the FDA, because anything that they do approve isn't really good for people. So again, use your common sense, guys. And, I mean, we can be censored, we can be, all that stuff. But either way, we're still talking, and I'm not going to stop talking. I am being censored pretty heavy right now from compliance, and but that's what happens when you start pushing buttons. And it's funny, like the one video that I did, we are talking real stuff in all our shows, but the one that really pulled the trigger was the one on dandelions. And, wonder why, because dandelions are everywhere to help us as humans and to help our earth. And we have waged a huge war on dandelions and caused a chemical shitstorm and ruined our water and land and everything else in doing so. And we're still doing it to this day. So, if you're using Roundup or fertilizers or any of this stuff, and complaining about your health, take a look at what you're doing. Read the ingredients in these things. If you already know, educate the people that you see spraying this stuff, because, they still spray them in schools. They're worried about the children. You see them spraying all those chemicals in the playground. Who's soaking that all up? Our children are. So, get the whole thing of our government is here to protect the children out of your head, because it's the parents and the grandparents. They're the ones that will protect the children. And let's see, guys, I'm going to try to connect on my computer, because the last video we did, you got to see lips the whole time, like we were the Rolling Stones or something. So I just want to click on real quick, and I'm going solo today, because I just wanted to do a recap, and I have kind of evaluated. We've done almost 2 months of live video now, and I kind of reevaluated the schedule, so I'll go over that in a little bit. But back to natural remedies that have been passed down for generations and generations throughout the years. Let's see here. I'm going to see one thing, guys. Let me open this up. Just got to turn that down. Okay, so I want to just show you a couple books that I have, and I don't know if you can still get them, but, everything from headaches to cancer and natural treatments are in these books. One is The Wisdom of Amish Folk Medicine by Patrick Quillen, PhD. And here's this book. Okay, and the other one is Indian Doctor, Nature's Method of Curing and Preventing Disease According to the Indians. And this one is by Nancy Locke Doan. And these two books, guys, are a wealth of information. But these aren't the only books. And these are just proof that, you know, before Western medicine, people still had diseases, but nothing like what's going on today. Actually, most people died of old age back then, and children, sure, were not having the problems that they have right now. So today we're talking lilacs because they are in full bloom all around in northern Michigan. And as you can see, my house smells delicious right now. Let's see, let me put one out so you can see a better picture of it. But these are the blooms. And there's all kinds of different stuff you can do with these. I'm going to go over those. But they smell amazing. And these are the leaves. And all the history, really, that you see are with the leaves, all the medical history. There's not a lot done on the flowers. And probably because, you know, they do have certain purposes, which I'll talk about a little bit later, but that could be a reason why you don't really hear about them. But if you ever notice, there's no lilac essential oils anywhere. And you might see some as of now, but I'd be kind of leery about getting any because due to the flower's chemical composition, it does not contain enough essential oil to be isolated through methods of distillation and extraction. So there's other ways to use the lilac. And these, the ones I have right now, I'll pull out here so you can see. These ones I pulled out, I'm going to be doing infused sugar. And I don't really use sugar, but I do use it for the hummingbirds. And I hate that they just eat sugar, so I do lilac sugar if I can get my hands on it. And I will use the flowers, and I'll just cut them up. I won't, you know, whenever you're doing anything with fresh herbs, you want to cut them up. You don't want to mutilate them, pulverize them, stuff like that. Just cut them up enough to where, you know, they'll be able to flow with whatever you're mixing them with, but you don't want to mutilate your plants. So I will put, I would just take a mason jar, fill it up halfway with sugar, fill it up with the lilacs cut up in there, and I'd leave a little air in there so that you can shake it around. And for like a week, just keep shaking it, popping the lid, and burping it, getting some air in there a couple times a day. And then you just simply put it through a strainer and get, you know, any of the pieces out. But I'm not too worried about, you know, little particles because I use this for the hummingbirds. But it's a nice little treat, and it is safe for the hummingbirds. Every part of the lilac is edible, and if you grow lilacs, you'll see all the pollinators absolutely love them. So it's a good treat for the hummingbirds if you want to give them something a little bit more nutritious than just sugar. So what else I do with it is a tincture and honey. And I do use the leaves and the flowers in tinctures because the leaves, again, are what most of all of the research and stuff has been done on. But, you know, that's why I use both, because I know there's definitely good things in the flower. They just don't have the volatile oils like, you know, as many as most plants do. And you can also infuse water. And you can also dry it out to use in teas, or you can use it fresh in teas. So anyway, lilacs, and like I said, the leaves are mainly what they are talking about here. The medical benefits include lowers and treats fever, and that's the main thing. So instead of like Tylenol, Lilacs is something that really works well on fever. So for your kids, you can't really find anything more safe than Lilacs. Tylenol, if you don't know, kills the empathy receptors in your brain. So if you ever wonder why a lot of people don't care nowadays, it's probably because they lost their empathy receptors. Hi Ward, how's it going? Thanks for joining us. I'm going to try to catch some of these comments as we're talking since I'm alone, but I'm still getting used to this, guys, so bear with me. So anyway, it is good for stress, anxiety. Another big thing is it kills and purges intestinal worms. And, you know, we're all full of parasites. So, you know, just like everything else, when it comes in season, springtime is the time you want to use lilac and do a parasite cleanse for yourself. Let's see. And it also is really good for stomach issues and digestive problems. Also good for wrinkles, rashes, burns, cuts, anything like that. And it is antifungal and antibacterial. Another interesting fact, which I think you guys will be surprised by, it may boost your psychic abilities. If any of you are getting through your journey and trying to explore more of the natural world, it does so by including a wider sense of perception of the spiritual world. So it's definitely experience that people should try to gravitate towards if you're trying to grow and be more spiritual. So, you know, definitely Google it, check it out. So much to learn about lilac, and you know, I just wrote a few notes so that way I could touch base because I get scared when I do these talks. Hi Debbie, how's it going? Nice to meet you. You're jumping on board, great, because we need all the help in the world. And I swear, I feel like with all this compliance and censorship that I'm going through right now, and all the interest that I'm seeing with all these new herbalists coming out, you know, I think we're going to be under fire again, guys. So stand your ground, and you know, if you're not into herbalism yourself, get to know your neighborhood herbalist, because if shit does hit the fan and you are on all these medications, what are you going to do if one day they're not there? You know, because they all derived from plants and fungi and mosses and lichens and trees and bark and saps. And all they do is synthesize them, add things that cause side effects and kill your major organs through time so they can patent it and sell it and make money. So, you know, if you learn this skill, which is a dying skill, you can help yourself and so many other people. And the knowledge needs to be learned and known and shared, and especially with young children. So if you're around young children, share your love of the wild with them, because they are like little sponges and they love it too. So you can also do a simple syrup with the flowers. There's all kinds of things you can do. If you want to like boost the color, you could add a couple blueberries into it just to make it more vivid. You can do jelly, wine, ice cream, custards. Every part of it is edible, so you can play around with the flowers to make everything look all pretty, and cookies or cakes or whatever. So, you know, have fun with it. Get to know it. And I also do, the roots are also good in herbalism. A lot of the roots of the plants have a lot of medicinal value. The roots you want to pull in the fall when you're harvesting any kind of roots. And again, when you're foraging, make sure you're not in a populated area by any traffic, any contamination in the air or groundwater or anything like that. Try to get as far away from people if you're going to be ingesting and using anything in medicine. Another thing is it does have some bitter qualities, and it's extremely nutrient dense. And when you have time, just Google bitters and why it's healing, just to actually say the word bitter. So whenever I bring it up, I say it a couple times, but it's kind of neat, a neat read, so check that out. And lilacs do go to seed after they've been established for a couple years, so if you want to propagate them, you can just let them go to seed, and once they dry out, tap the seeds out and put them in the freezer, and next year they'll be ready for you to grow. So that's all on lilacs. I encourage you all to Google lilacs, research them, look into old folklore, old medicines, everything, spirituality, because that is something big if you are trying to, zone in on your psychic abilities. But that's where I'm going to leave it today. I am, now that it's foraging season, I am going to get out there, and I'm going to be trying to get out there and forage and give you more info and get a lot more videos done on these herbs and weeds. So, what people think are weeds, but they're actually medicine in my world. So if you are interested in that, stay tuned, because we're going to dive deep as things, start to grow. So anyway, moving forward, we are changing things up a little bit. The last 2 months have gone great. We've had some good shows, lots of good info out there. 3 days a week at noon is kind of a lot for me, especially now that it's summertime and I want to be outside more, especially during the day. So next week we are going down to 2 shows a week. It's a holiday weekend, so Monday on the 29th, we're going to have a special time, 10 a.m., just because I know it's going to be hectic, and if you're not around, catch the replay. But we will have Kathleen Graham of CannabisNurse.com, and we will be talking cannabis and Candlebox. Yep, the band. And that'll be fun. Wednesday, the 31st, we'll be on at noon with Chuck and Jen Green, and we'll be talking homesteading. And they have goats, and they've started some greenhouses, and there's, I'm really excited to talk to them because I've been homesteading for 13 years now, and, they're getting started, and it's exciting, and it's always fun to follow others' adventures and gain inspiration, because, it's all about quitting being so dependent on the system, guys. We need to learn to go back to basics, become more self-sustainable, and quit depending on the system and quit being so trusting. Start asking questions and using our critical thinking skills and common sense, because we are being lied to in so many ways. And in the age of information, ignorance is a choice. And if you choose to remain ignorant, don't call me when you're sick, because, the info's out there, and I'm here, and there's a lot of people that are here to help you. So definitely learn to take your life into your own hands, because no one's coming to save you. So as of June, we're going to do 2 shows a week at 7 p.m. from now on. So next week, we're going to do Monday and Wednesday. And the following week, we'll start off our Tuesdays and Thursdays on the 6th and 8th of June. So thanks for joining us. Chime in. I would love to hear from you. Join us here live on Monday and Wednesday next week. And then again, moving forward, like I said, Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a great holiday weekend. Get outside and get your dose of nature. Join us Monday at 10 a.m., a special time, and we will be talking cannabis and Candlebox with Kathleen Graham of CannabisNurse.com. So stay tuned. Have a good day.